back to another Commercial Trucking Chronicles, and I'm Swizzy, your host. And I wanted to tell you guys this Friday that um, I'm I'm deeply appreciative to everybody's following my channel. I just wanted to also say to you guys that this has been a rough journey for me as to where I am currently with the doing the channel and doing the videos and you know um, trying to work with the community and and all the other communities that I'm a part of. If not in a big way, just in the show of support and stuff like that. I mean, when we take and we're tuning in to a channel, it's usually because we're a part of the channel, we're part of that community, and there's a lot of people in there that give their opinions. Some people have small communities, and this is how I do look at the community thing. Um, I love to engage with people. I'm always a open book. You know, so that's just how I am. The way I've always been. Of course, I have nothing to hide from anyone at all. So that's pretty much why I'm an open book. Well, you get what you see, or you see what you get with me. However, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just myself. Like, this is James. Like, I'm Swizzy. You see what you get. Um, I'm not trying to be anything or anyone that you don't see. You see what you get. So, and I appreciate the people that are supportive of me because that's just who I am. I'm being me up here, you know. So I know some people get egos and get caught up in their egos and they try to start acting and carrying themselves the part, with the big ego people. So some people get their heads get big because of some of the stuff that they do around here. You know, your your athlete could get big headed and he's got an ego because he'll dunk on you. So, but I don't come with ego and no big head attitude. I just I rock like how I am and stuff. So I've always been like that, and that's just who I am. So people, kind of always looked at me as the cool dude and everything and stuff. Anywhere I went, and so I'm when I look at a community and I feel like I'm a part of a community because I think you're good people, so I would be supportive of you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And uh, I just wanted to thank you guys for supporting my channel. Really, that's it. That's what it's really all about right now. Growing, we're gonna grow. I'm gonna grow. I mean, we're all gonna grow. And then the support that people show us, it helps us become more confident as well. I mean, you're already being yourself, but you have to have confidence in yourself too when you're trying to up here on a platform. So I just do kind of like what I do. I'm a little creative at a lot of things. I got good hands. It's always been that way with me. So that's why I say I'm just be giving you. I'm giving you. I'm trying to give you the best of me. Over here and stuff. Not you know anything else. That's why I say I'm not trying to be nothing other than the person I am. If there's something that's going to interest me, and I feel like I want to talk about it with you guys. And hello to you guys that are, in the chats. I appreciate you, man. I get to you guys. Yeah. It's always, like, there's stuff I always be having on my mind. And how I express myself and stuff is, um, I mean, I come across a certain way that that's just me. That's my thing. You know, I'm not, man. You know, if I'm a part of a community, like I said, it's usually because I feel like those are, the type of people that would appreciate me as well, or would, be in my presence and stuff, like be on my channel too. Like, like, okay, yeah, we got up, we hit it off and stuff. So, you know, we'll do this again. You know what I'm saying? So, and everywhere I always been, and everywhere I always have gone, I go places. I don't try to do anything to make an impression, but I tend to leave one. Hey, your man was cool, bring him back, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said because I look like Snoop. I know with the glasses and stuff with this. So that's what I'm talking about, you know. And I thank y'all for following me, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's, if the topics and stuff I talk about just kind of don't interest you, that's fine. That's cool. You can support me with a thumbs up or not. But I mean, just I'm really just. Uh, I gotta have. I'm in my 50s, so I gotta kind of. I'm not trying to be a rowdy person up here. So, and I don't want to ever really come across being somebody that's like that, because I'm not playing a gangster over here. I'm not doing none of that. I'm just, when I bring you content, a piece of advice for the younger people. Yeah, you gotta. I would, because I talk to some of the youth around here where I live. These young brothers, I see them, and you know, they need to think first. Be thankful for each day that they're out here. If they're trying to do anything with themselves, it's going to be a challenge to you, young brothers. I mean, you do have to, hopefully you can uh, find yourself where there's some support, and you know think a few years ahead of your your peers, right? Put God first in everything that you're doing, and if you have that upstairs in your mind, that you should be fine. You should. I mean, it doesn't always mean that you're going to be, you know, um, given a whole bunch of opportunities that the next one might get. Um, but as long as you work hard, you'll find your way. But sometimes it's where you are, and as a young man, they don't have a lot of you might not have a lot of options to move around. So you have to make what you have, work. And so you guys, violence is not the way. You know, the negativity in the street that don't have a long term um, outcome. Your life could be cut short instantly from you. So value your life, young brothers. That's what I would tell them. And if you're making kids, man, you get yourself one, man. Don't overdo it, brother. Not at an early age, young blood. you know, you take care of that one. Learn to be in their life as an example to that child, and support that mother that has that child. Well, if you're not in a situation, y'all get together, blah blah blah. Still play a major role in their life. See, that's what you need to do. But don't go out here making a whole bunch of babies, young brothers. I'm giving you a piece of advice with that one right there. Okay, appreciate you. I got two sons, and I'm 50. I'm 50, so I'm not. If I tell you I'm 50, I'm lying, because I'm giving my son, turn the clock back a couple years. With that, I'm about to be 55 this year. And it was funny because I followed somebody on Instagram, and it was like, oh, everybody's 55. Leave it in the comments. Let these young people know that, say we aging gracefully. So I was like, just wanted a selfie in there. So, to show that, black don't crack, right? So I wanted to put a picture in so bad, but I'm 54. And I was like, But we thinking long term over here, man. Thank God I'm still here, man, to be a part of my sons, their lives, and my family, because I value family. I really do so much, and that's what I mean about these young brothers, man. They gotta think long term, and then if you go and you get yourself, you know, um, tied down with a woman responsibilities, a woman, and all the responsibilities of a family and stuff like that. You're going from being a boy to a man, so you gotta be that man in that child's life, even if you're not in that woman's life, and the situation might kind of get twisted between y'all. So I just, and I got sons. That's why I say, I try, I can give the advice to these young brothers to kind of give them some, tools to help them around, around situations, and I try to talk to my boys. So I'm speaking from experience as a father. I raised my 4 kids, my 2 daughters, and my son. My oldest boy is 29. He's working with me. You might see him in the videos right now. I got some other videos of him when he was trucking with me, you know, and he's got his CDLs and stuff. So, I'm definitely leading by example in his life. However, sometimes we do that as fathers, and they buck. They don't want to. They don't. If they smart, they're going a lot of times, not they not they you're not smart because this is your father. The young brothers be feeling they got to find their own way out here sometimes, especially when they don't have a male figure. And then there's times you have the ones that they do have that male figure, they still just gonna buck. They feel they got to find their own way. So that's something I know from firsthand. So but I play a role, and I've always played a role in my son's and my daughter's life. And you know, I'm proud of them today. However, they still gotta grow up. You know, he ain't got no kids, so neither one of them have kids. The boys, none of my kids have kids, and so if I can ever get that. If I can ever get them to think a little bit more down the road, and they do talk about, when I had, how kids are, and I can be like, yeah, well, just don't go out there and make nothing right now, because and I don't know if you know, but I know you ain't ready for it. Don't do that, because it's gonna come fall back to me. And I don't mind being papa and they doing it, but you gotta handle your business, young man. That's why I look at it. Just do what you gotta do. But you're talking about your kids, when you have them. Yeah, okay. Make sure you guys are, not sleeping and making babies everywhere. So don't do that. So, all right. The markets. And he invests. That's why I said I live by example. He's an investor. He trade. He do it. My oldest boy, and my young boy. He got some little, he got a little digital, but he has some, he made some money on a pump and dump. I told him you should have took that money out. He didn't know how to do it. My youngest didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how to pull it out. And he got hyped though, like, oh, you want like a couple, 2, maybe a couple, percent since it went up, and you know, something else, man. Something else. He's something else. So, hey, you guys, do me a favor, man. Hit the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm your boy Swizzy, and you have a blessed day. Y'all get ready for this cold weather, because it's coming. Peace.